Dracula musical. Why gotta hold the level?
You kiss your kids, you go out, you bust your butt every day as hard as you can, give 100% effort so that people will give you an opportunity. You do everything right, and then you go home and you...
Don't even start. We'll get on that shit a little bit later on.
If it ain't white, it ain't right.
That beat still hits every time. That beat hits every single time. How's it going there, fellas?
Hello, Cat Patino.
Cation. So, real quick, before we get into our little rants, we just want to take a quick time out because Queen Elizabeth has died. So, we're going to have a moment of silence for that. Fuck her. Anyways, so episode 172, Straight Meddle Show. This is me, LP. I can never get the shit.
Which way are you supposed to be going? Do you know which way?
You. Let's go. You. Let's go. See my finger. Let's go. You.
Yeah.
That's got it.
Hi.
And then there we go. We got Jamal with a hoodie on in Texas. How the fuck does that happen? It's only
in September.
It's only September. What the fuck?
Cold out here, man.
What up, Af? But yeah, good show coming up. Obviously, again for you guys. Day. As you can see, especially in my background right here. Oh, look, I did the finger right the first time. There's some football going on right here. So that's why we wasn't here last week because, we're Neanderthals at the end of the day. At least I am. I don't know about you guys. And so, we have to watch some fucking football. This is the first week of the season. And we'll get on all that shit later on. Horrible week. Anyways. So how was you guys' week?
So far, so good. I can't complain.
Yeah, 1-0. So
yeah, just try to be 1-0 every day.
I mean, yeah. We were just talking about life in general, but we were just talking about life in general, but you want to just bring up your team because they're 1-0. Okay. I see what mood you're in today, Jamal. Okay.
Oh yeah. Fuck that. It was a good divisional game.
Right. Yeah. Good little divisional shit. But yeah.
You still drinking Falcon Steers?
Oh, so funny that you would ask.
That's good beef. That's good beef right there. That's good beef.
Cool.
Yeah, Raiders lost to them. These wannabe charges.
Man,
these slow charges. They're gonna as good as they look, they're gonna fuck this shit up at some point. We all know this. At some point. Like even right now, they should be up at least 17 points. And they're only up 3.
They should, but again, we'll talk about that because again, when we played their motherfucking ass last week, that it was like y'all played like this and y'all still you didn't even win by a touchdown. Man, fuck off. But they'll be all right. It's the Chargers, so they're gonna end up fucking all this shit up at the end of the day. No big deal there. But again, anything exciting happened over the last week, guys?
Outside of football starting, no, kind of just Mirandering through the week like we usually do. Try to make it to the weekend.
To do what?
Nothing.
You work really hard
all week so we can make it to nothing.
To make it to nothing.
You work all week really hard just to do nothing. Well, that's pretty good. Not bad. So I guess the first topic we're going to talk about today is Let's go Brett Favre. Fuck it. Let's just go Brett Favre. Let's just start off with
good
this.
Lord.
This piece. Yeah, no, we're starting right into this shit just because. So Brett Favre is catching flack as well he should. Again, Brett Favre. Being you know, if you know sports, you know football, you know Brett Favre is, you know, Hall of Fame quarterback, and this is that and other shit. It's almost like he has done more shit outside of playing football that has made his shit polarizing, or even like you're a
Not
piece of shit.
polarizing. He's a piece of shit.
He's a piece of shit at the end of the day, right? It's like, dude, you should have just let John Madden just have his day with you, right? Because, you know, Brett Favre, you know, that was John Madden's boy.
Again, it's with Brett Favre. It's a conundrum because if you play if you watch football or a fan of football and all that, you love the way Brett Favre played because he kind of just played with a freedom and a like a carefree kind of attitude that that's how you want your football players to play.
Right.
But as a human being and as a person, as a, like outside of that, just like day-to-day life and shit like that, yeah, that nigga's a horrible piece. He's a horrible human.
Like, and it started with the whole Aaron Andrews things. He was sending dick pics to her.
Are you sure it started with that? Because I thought it started when he
the pills and shit.
Yeah, that nigga was a motherfucking dopehead.
Okay, so that was during his playing career. Well, I guess Aaron Andrews was too, but it was toward the end. But yeah, so he had the pill shit going on. Then he was sending unsolicited dick pics, which is now illegal, by the way, gentlemen. He was sending.
you made that look like, oh, hold on.
Wait a minute.
I should have fired them hoes off before.
Yeah. Them shits is illegal now. He was sending unsolicited dick pics. And then he got caught up with some other chick. Then, you know, the whole, Green Bay Packers to the Jets to the Vikings, you know, that was a whole bunch of shit. Then he became a Trump supporter, which, you know, we know how that shit goes.
Out of all the shit, that was the most non-surprising shit. This is a backwood motherfucker from Mississippi. Like,
that motherfucker is from Mississippi, though. You know what I mean?
I expect him to be with Trump like this.
Right.
Yeah,
and then and so now
I would be more surprised if he wasn't. Actually.
Yeah,
right. Yeah.
If that deal was rolling with Biden, I'd be like, yeah, these niggas around there hate your guts.
You can't even go home, dog. They snatching your chain. But yeah, again, he was in there doing all that shit. So now he's been caught up with stealing money from welfare recipients.
And mind you, this dude made over $100 million while he played in the league.
He got
That's just contract money.
He got the bread. The bread ain't the problem. This
nigga stole welfare money to make it look like he was a philanthropist and to build a new volleyball stadium at Ole Miss. I mean, not Ole Miss, but Southern Miss, because his daughter goes there.
Of course. So you you're trying to go in and out about it, right? You're just trying to, like, I'll show this text message. I was gonna read it, but I'm not gonna read it all the way. But here you go. This is the text message that was sent back in 2017. Obviously, as you can see, you know, hey, if you were to pay me, is there any way the media can find out where it came from and how much? Whoa.
If you gotta start off like that, then nigga, you know you doing something wrong.
Then you know you doing something wrong. And so like that, it's like with all this money that you got, all this bread that you got, right? I know people with less that does way more for facilities and kids and all this other shit. This is what you want. You want to take money from people that need it?
What was crazy though is he could have easily, between himself, other rich friends he got, and endorsement, like people who endorse him, he could have easily raised that money.
He could have got Copperfit the motherfucking
that's what I'm saying.
that shit.
Nike, who I don't know who his like athletic deals with, but
right.
Copperfit, Nike, any of these other companies
Wranglers
with, get some PR for you helping women's sports and all this. So, he could have easily put that together, put a little bit of his money in, have some other people donate, and easy, right? Easy.
Right.
Like,
right.
It didn't have to be like this.
Yeah, he's stealing from the poor to give to the rich. That's the coldest. That's the coldest shit ever.
Think of my boy Baggins. Think of my boy Baggins.
Tell this Christ can't hit a fastball.
Yeah, he gotta tell me, goddammit. But yeah, like there's so many that get a 501c and do a bullshit ass a nonprofit. Give me something. But
He's already a nonprofit. Once you're in the league, when you're in the league, you automatically are an organization. You got org at the back of your whatever you want to start.
right.
You have that because everybody in the league is quote unquote like independent contractors at the end of the day, but they're all org. Like you can start your own. He probably got an organization.
Right.
Like you just follow the money through that. Like you could have did so many other ways. And the way they try to cover it up is so dumb and sloppy. It's very Mississippi of him.
How did they try to cover it up?
Man, I mean, it just with the motherfucking text message. The text message says it all. Like, if the media finds out, there's no way to trace it. Like, hey, come on, bro. Really? And then there's no, they can't get that information. Oh, thanks.
yeah. But see, I'm always kind of leery though of text messages that you see online with like celebrities, is because you can name anybody.
Nah, them shit is real.
Yeah, that hoe was in court.
Nah, nigga, them motherfuckers is on the federal investigation. Like, nigga, that type of shit is not the type of shit they leak that shit because they gotta show that this nigga is a piece of shit, dog.
Right.
Like, and the cold part about it is me as a fan of football, like I love the way Brett Favre played the game.
Mm.
Like just seeing him and just like I said, everything post football, that nigga is just like, yeah, I wouldn't even want to kick it with that nigga. Like that is a horrible human being.
I would say, I can even take you being a Trump supporter, but I can't even kick it with you, dog.
Like it's one thing to like funnel money and like try to get, everybody always trying to do that in some type of way, shape or form, right? But to take from the lowest of the low, like nigga, you taking from the welfare of the poorest state in the motherfucking United States. Like nigga, you don't have any morals.
Right. And do they have clean water now?
Meanwhile in Jackson, Mississippi, motherfuckers, the water coming out that hole look like yak. It look like some good Cavassier coming out that bitch.
What did you go say, Miles?
Say get up under the faucet. Let me get that.
Yeah, let me get that.
Let me get some of that.
They say good sip. Yeah, sip that and you about to die.
Yeah. It's metal in your lungs. Yeah, what were we going to say out of mouth?
Oh, no, I was just going to say, it would have been totally different if he was trying to funnel that money to help out with that water situation. I know $5 million is not going to fix that problem. It's probably a bigger problem. But, Brett Favre is a piece of shit. But I think you just kind of have to look at, it's a microcosm of like the bigger issues that we have in this country around helping people. Like, we see the stuff going on with the water there, but that's not the only place, right? We know about Flint and there's other places too.
Right.
Having those types of issues. And yet, whenever they want to spend money on something, whether it's military, whether it's sending however many billions they send this week to Ukraine, like they can find it. It's obvious that when they really want to do something, they can do it. They can find the money somewhere, create it, pull it out of thin air, and they can get that money to where they want it to be.
Right.
But when it comes to people, that's when the conversations are where we got to have debates about whether we can do it or whether we can or can we afford it and all this, and it's just, you see it at a state level here, but you also, that trickles all the way up and all the way down, I guess. So there's a lot of situations like that, I'm sure, where the people involved aren't necessarily as noteworthy as Brett Favre, but the money gets funneled to some project or some whatever, instead of being used for what it was either intended for or even just being put towards what it was originally meant for. Forget all the special projects, like even just the stuff it was regularly meant for.
Shout out to Iron Dome.
And if
Right.
our governments, both local, state, and national, if they actually manage money as if they wanted to fix problems instead of, sending it to whatever pet projects they got to funnel money around, then it'd be a totally different society. But so Brett Favre, he's just one little
Of
fish
many.
in a pond
Yeah.
of corruption. Like
Yeah, no, and again,
probably one of the
it's
small.
high, it's highlighted because of his name, obviously,
Yeah,
Right.
and it's like
it's not
he's
excusable.
not the only one,
Yeah.
and he's like I said, yeah, he's a drop in the bucket of what is really going on, as you were saying, as you alluded to, Jay. But it's one of those things where this guy, it's to the point. It's like just the audacity and just like how like nonchalant they are about this shit now. Where it's just like we've known, you know, politicians and stuff like that don't really give a fuck about us. But like the blatancy of it lately is really like
They do
God
put it
damn.
right in your
Like
face.
it's
They
to the
put it
point. It's
right in
just
your
like
face.
and the thing is about Brett Favre down there. He ain't gonna lose no popularity. Everybody's still gonna want to kick it with him. Trump is still gonna pull him up there on stage when somebody is needing some votes or some bullshit like that, and everybody's gonna cheer and they're gonna act like it's something that the other side of the politician table made up or however they try to spin it. And it's gotten to the point. It's just like it's almost like you just gotta try to get yours because
Right.
everybody else is getting theirs, and it's like you don't want to be like morally bankrupt like that. Like to me, that just shows
Is
the
it a more
disconnect that he has from he knew that shit was wrong because he wouldn't have worded that text message the way he did.
right?
Well, if he finds out about this, will I get whatever some shit like, dude, like come on.
Well, okay, so is it like in situations like that, right? Because sometimes people are faced with circumstances where it's either us or them, right? Now, obviously, we can sit back and go, and I'm not defending this motherfucker in no way, shape, form, or fashion, right? But sometimes it's easier to sit back and go, okay, well, if I was in that situation, I would kind of try to play it the same way, right? You don't want to spend your own money. You don't want to,
No, nobody
yeah.
ever wants to spend their own money, but my nigga, there are so many other ways that you could have raised that money outside of stealing it from welfare people.
Right, because that's the thing. Like,
you went to the lowest of the low. But then flip side, motherfuckers want to get mad at people that were getting unemployment an extra $400. This nigga motherfuckers is literally siphoning off millions and billions of dollars. But you
to
mad at
build
this
a volleyball arena.
and you mad at Joe Blow over here that's getting that $400 so he can go and actually pay his rent and shit like that. And maybe go get some rims.
Can we ask the more important question though of why does a volleyball team need a fucking arena?
Why?
Have you ever seen a line outside of the fucking building to get into a volleyball game?
Never.
You walk right the fuck in.
He got that shit for his daughter. There was a time.
If y'all don't take y'all ass to the practice gym,
man, get y'all ass over there.
Championship.
I'm trying to take like that, and this is like that. And now, have I gone to a volleyball arena? Hell no. Have I been to some volleyball games?
Yeah, some good tall ass.
It's a lovely event.
In college, boy, at college on campus, nigga, when there ain't shit to do, hey man, what you finna do? Finna go to a volleyball game? Why? Oh, okay, come with me, you'll see.
we did that in high school. Matter of fact, PJ said one day, like last year, he was like, "Dad, I want to go to the volleyball game." I said, "Nah, nigga, you ain't going."
Daddy over there, hey.
No, not today. Not today. I gotta go home. I'm sleepy.
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, you don't need to build a volleyball arena because it's just really a basketball arena, and it's not disrespectful to the game of volleyball, right? It's a great game, right? But at the same, it's like you don't.
Only time we care about volleyball is around the Olympics and then this beach volleyball. That's the only time this country cares about volleyball.
And they don't have an arena either.
And
So
they play outside.
they put some bleachers out right next to the sand, and they go.
and they're bringing the sand from Home Depot.
Yeah,
Lowe's and Home Depot.
Yeah, so we don't need a volleyball stadium. That's your first mistake.
Mhm.
Like you didn't even waste this corruption on something that's cool.
Yeah, like real tangible.
Yeah, some shit that nobody would have ever seen except the players.
Right. Like, we'll say, damn, you didn't get a Benz out the deal or nothing? Like, shit. Like,
But that just shows like I said, it just shows the disconnect of like how they really think about and how they really kind of just go about life. Like, the niggas just did that shit. Like, yeah, they need a volleyball gym, and nobody would ever ask.
Yeah, exactly. They go my boy Baggins again. They need some cheap ass high school volleyball court that the rest of us had. Yeah, exactly. They don't need all that extra shit. Like, I mean, come on, man. Like, are volleyball games that long? Are they that important? No. When is the last time you met a professional volleyball player? Never.
I've never met a professional volleyball
Ever.
They out there. I know they are. I've never.
I mean, I'd love to meet one, but
yes,
at the same time, you don't need a stadium, bitch. We'll do it in the backyard, like whatever.
Let me get the
whatever
volleyball
space
player.
we find is where we'll play volleyball.
Let me get the
So
volleyball
let's go
player
get
that's
that
like
damn
6.
stadium.
yeah.
Let me get the one that's like 6'2". Let me get that volleyball player, the one that's by the net the whole time, man.
Oh yeah, them
guy.
kill artists. They got a lot of kills.
Got some kills.
Fuck it. All right, so next topic we got up. And actually, this one's actually a pretty good. So the question again, if you know, obviously y'all ain't in privy to text messages or anything like that, but one topic that we talked about earlier this week as gentlemen, as guys, within everything that we got going on, do divorced people give the best advice with relationships? Now, me, I'll go first, but me being the divorced guy, right? Yeah, I honestly believe that divorce, like if you're talking to somebody with a straight face and they go, you know, and you're married, you're this is that and other, and they go, hey, nah, yeah, you know, you might want to, you know, kind of focus this way, focus on doing this, doing that. Those are things that people you have a tendency to listen to just because it's like, I know where I did good. Most importantly, I know where I fucked up at. You see what I'm saying? So it'll be something simple as like I'll even say this, right? Whenever, you know, with COVID going on and you guys having kids and shit like that, you know, that's part of the reason why we didn't do the show for a little bit. It's like, no, y'all need to spend time over there because you spend time with your wives and shit like that, because no, it'll be something simple. Something very, very simple that will amount to will go from what's the
amount to a molehill.
Yeah, there you go.
Molehill.
Yeah. So it'll go from this to that, like really quick, just off something simple, and you're like, what the fuck? Wait a minute, hold on. All I did was go to the corner store. You know what I'm saying? And but yeah, no, honestly, I do believe that is definitely paramount. Like, so, you know, if a lot of people, you know, you have friends that are divorced or friends that are going through a divorce too, that's another thing you got to look out for too, where you have, you know, people that are going through it. It's like, oh man, I wish I would have did it this way as opposed to that way. Man, it's a difficult ball game to deal with. But
yeah. It depends on the person though. Like,
right,
they got to be past their shit to really give you advice. Like,
right.
If they still, it's different for everybody, but if they still like if they're not over it yet,
right,
you might get like a bitter divorcee who just like, fuck that man, you don't need no bitches.
Yeah.
That type of shit, right? But no, if they passed it and they can kind of see with hindsight what's going on, yeah, a lot of times they do give the best advice, right? Because they've already made the mistakes that you might be making or going to make or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then they also look back on certain aspects that they may have underappreciated in the moment,
Mm-hmm.
but in hindsight, like, that was kind of, that part of it was kind of nice, you know, and just understanding from that perspective. So I think they do, but it depends on the person, like, and where they're at in their own little
Right. Yeah, and part of that reality is, yeah, you definitely have to get over it, right? Like once you get over it, then obviously you can provide a more, more focused kind of
more
guidance.
logical, more
Yeah, yeah.
logical information than just kind of, nah, fuck that bitch. If she's doing
Right,
this, fuck
right.
that. Oh,
Because like you get out of a relationship, or you get out of, again, you get out of a divorce, and that was on Tuesday and today is Friday. Like, you're not gonna get the best advice, man. Fuck that. It's just not gonna happen, right? And depending on how long you was with someone, if you with someone for a year, right, that may take a little shorter period of time. If you're with someone for 22 years and then you get a divorce, it's like, well, how the fuck do I think today? Because I don't. you got to get that
yeah.
motherfucker some time.
Yeah, and like I said, I kind of feel in the same vein as Jamal as far, are these people are they coming from a spot of like logic and like, are they over this? And because you gotta be everybody's human, so everybody's gonna have they're gonna have their slant to even the advice they're trying to give you because
Mhm.
they're telling it from their perspective, obviously. So
Right.
I feel like you can always get some knowledge from somebody that's been through it and had a rough go of it, been through like a divorce, or been through it and they're still thriving in their relationship. Like, I feel like you should be able to pull from both because, I mean, you're gonna need that balance of figuring out what the hell's going on in your own relationship because you can only take so much from
Right. Right.
advice from somebody else because their uh, sequences and stuff that happen in their life, it's going to be different from yours. Like, we're going to have some similarities, but it's not going to be the same.
Right.
So it's like, no, I'll take what I need from that, take out what I need from this, and then apply, and then kind of go with that. But yeah, I try to take advice from mostly, I took advice from LP, take advice from Jamal, whoever it is that's trying to, hey man, I've been having this, or because we have these type of discussions. It's just,
Mhm.
you get where get it in where you fit in, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. Because it is because they give you the percentages, right, about divorce rates being over 50%, and this is that and other shit, and it's like, okay, yeah, maybe it is. That doesn't mean that I'm going to fall into that category, right? Because a lot of times people get married
Young,
initially. Yeah, I got married young, right? I got married young as shit, and it's like I had no business trying to be a fucking husband, right? Like, in no way, shape, form, or fashion. But it's just like, okay, so you got the young ones, you got the ones that okay, maybe they're on their second or third marriage because they got married young, right? So that to me, like, when they throw out those kind of numbers, it kind of
it's
there's a
skewed in a
slant to
way.
it. Yeah,
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 it's skewed in a way, but the numbers are the numbers. They're like the divorce rate in America is high. I mean, that
right.
just kind of goes without saying. But it's like I said, a lot of people.
We also
And
let
this,
our women drive to Saudi Arabia.
yeah. But I feel like, and this is my
Depends
personal,
on
a
people.
lot of people, and I'm not saying it's across the board, but this is why I feel like one of the reasons uh, the divorce rate so high. People obviously get into it for the wrong reason. They
Mhm.
want it just for the title or
Mhm.
some shit like that, just to
Right,
say I'm a husband or I'm a wife.
right,
Like,
right. Yeah,
people, I've seen it. I've seen that with some people that I know that gotten divorced and stuff like that, where they the initial what you call it wasn't pure. Like, it wasn't like I'm doing this because I love this person. I want to be with them for the rest of the life,
mhm.
for our rest of our lives. It's like, no, I want to be with this person so I can have said title.
Right, right, right. Mal, you was about to say something.
Oh no. I was, as far as the divorce rate, like I don't know, it's a complicated thing though, man, because um, I think it's a lot of things. I mean, because in a way, like people think people think life is like they always think that it's easier the further you go along. Like right now is always supposed to be the best time to live, which I don't necessarily think. I
Right.
think I think in a way right now is easy in certain ways because you can do stuff like this and
Mhm.
talk to people anywhere in the world and all that kind of stuff. But there's other aspects of this time period where it's harder, and it's harder in a lot of aspects, right?
Right.
So, in the past, like people talk about women not working, and I'm not making any value judgment about that. If you want to work, work. I don't really care. But what I'm saying is, it's a different type of stress when both people have to work.
Mhm.
And for most couples, not for everybody, obviously, but when both people have to work and there's just a lot going on versus, one person working and one person supporting the family and supporting that other person.
Mhm.
I'm not saying that's how it should be, but I'm just saying that's a different dynamic that that maybe changes things a little bit, right?
Right.
Um, but I just think there's a lot of stress on people. I think it's multiple things. There's people doing it for the wrong reasons, but that's probably always been the case.
Right.
Hmm.
Um, but I think it's also there's a lot of stress on people now that maybe in the past hasn't necessarily been there. And like if
Yeah.
you look at the reasons people get divorced, number one reason is money generally, right? If you just look at
Right.
it statistically,
Right. Right. Right.
the number one reason is money problems, right? And the strain of that just leading people apart because human beings are interesting in that a stressor in one area can quickly become a stressor in other areas. Meaning, you can have something that causes stress, but
Right.
because of that stress and how your mind associates that stress with that person, because you're in a situation with that person, it can lead you uh, to have negative thoughts or feelings about that person. And
Right.
in something that started, we've all had that, right?
Yeah.
Where something small that's like washing the dishes or something turns into a big thing, and
Right.
it's because it's not about washing the dishes, right?
It's not. Yeah.
It's about everything else that's going on, and that person not really being satisfied with
Mhm.
the situation in general.
Right.
And washing the dishes is just a thing that triggered them off that day, but
Right.
they already had that.
Shout out to Will Smith slapping Chris Rock.
Keep my wife, baby.
Man, say that man was going through it when he had to do that. But again, again, whether it's marriage or whether it's relationships, right? Like going to work is easy, right? That's the easy part. You know what you're doing whenever you go to work, right? Coming home, having to deal with like
Yeah, going to life is a lot more stressful than going to work.
oh my God, it's a lot more. It's like a trillion times more stressful just because it's like okay, well, obviously you don't want to rock the boat, right? You don't want to to piss your spouse off, right? And then at the same time, it's like, well, wait a minute, I got needs too, or however you want to go about it, right? So that is way more stressful than going to work and,
Yeah,
and
because with work you're only dealing with this in this confined area for this confined
right for
time.
this small amount of time, right? And you spend more time at work than you do, the normal 9 to 5 shit. You spend more time at work than you do with your actual significant other. So whenever so it's like, oh man, me, I talk on the phone all day, right? So I got to listen to shit all day, right? Just listen to shit and talk shit all day. That's what I do. The one thing I don't want to do when I get home is
It's
listen to
tough.
shit and talk. You
Yeah.
know, you know what I mean. So shit like that. That's what makes those kind of circumstances elevate. Like I said, it's not about washing the dishes. It's about no. You remember last week when? No, I don't remember last week when when you said the socks were all dirty. I don't remember that. I'm sorry. I apologize. Or whatever the case may be, right?
Yeah.
So
And I felt like, not to get too like, it's like we have we. That's why I feel like you can take stuff from like divorce and people that's been through it because you understood like, okay, maybe financially, physically, emotionally, I wasn't there when I was in this relationship, and just know like certain things that are triggers, like what you're saying, like the dishes, and it turns into something else, and it's like, okay, that's where where you can probably get some advice from somebody like, hey, when y'all are bickering and going back and forth about little stuff and it turns into something bigger, like y'all need to really have a sit down and see what the bigger issue is, instead of just going at each other's necks and then ended up
slamming
after
cabinets.
then after, because that after a while it's going to turn into resentment's going to turn into hate is going to turn into a divorce. Like, you want to nip that in the bud before it becomes something that wasn't meant to be, or it turns into something that you never really got to the core of what this was, and it led to this.
Right. And it's too late to even ask the question at that point.
Yeah, because you don't want a chink in the armor.
Shout out to Jeremy Lin.
My bad. I'm sorry. I'm really not.
Too soon?
I'm really not.
Too soon? Maybe. All right. Well, now we're going sports. Fuck this shit.
Justin Herbert just threw a pick six.
Whoa,
man, my fucking
They're losing. They're losing now.
Again, that's what the fucking Chargers do. They're gonna Charger this shit up. That's exactly what they do.
We said this shit in real time. I wanted to stop us when we was talking. I was like, nah, I just gotta let this ride till we get that.
They finna fuck it up. They finna fuck it up every time.
How are these motherfuckers down 24-17 right now?
But guess what? Justin Herbert gonna get a bunch of garbage time stats.
And everybody's gonna think he's the greatest.
They're gonna be like, "Oh my god, how they lose with Jesus Christ on the center?" Like,
again, I think he's a phenomenal talent, dude. Make it to the playoffs.
Definitely talented, and it's not like it's all him or anything.
No, of course not. But I still think that pick six, he shouldn't have thrown the ball.
Yeah.
Like, one he should have threw that whole way.
Listen, Justin Herbert, he's in above his head right now. Okay, that boy is out.
I wouldn't say that.
Where did he go to college, son?
He went to Oregon.
That boy is out there on that West Coast, and he went to Oregon, and now he's in LA. LA on a day-to-day basis, and you got locks.
But he's not one of those dudes that hits the scene like that. So I think he's all right in that aspect of it.
He might not be at the club, but he has somebody fucking beachside mansion party or some shit. LA is a crazy place, bro.
No, we just had this conversation. No, I understand that part of it. But what I am saying, this is an organizational thing, like with the Chargers. Like, this ain't just Justin Herbert, him being old. No, this is an organizational thing where this goes back for years. I was just having this conversation with a dude online. He was like, man, if the Chargers ever kind of figure out how to win these close games, they'd be on to something. I was like, dude, as a Raider fan, they've been trying to learn how to win these close games for 30 plus years, dude. It is what it is at this point.
And they had LaDainian Tomlinson, Phillip Rivers, Sean
Eric Weddle. Like, one thing about the Chargers, going back all the way to the 70s and Eric Carriel and all that, talent has never been an issue with the Chargers ever.
They had Drew Brees,
and again, it's not like they made the quote unquote wrong decision. They went from Drew Brees to Phillip Rivers. Like, I could see why they did that, even with that flipped ass throwing motion. But I could see why y'all did it. It still doesn't. I still don't comprehend how they, like, if they end up losing this game. Yeah, that the Chargers are going to be the Chargers of who I thought they were going to be. They are who we thought they were. Let them off the hook.
All right, so we're talking about this game tonight. Now, normally every week we go over all the other games, right? Or, we just kind of highlight some games. Now, No, don't even say nothing, Simon. Why is bright on the screen?
Mhm.
So it's not brighter today. The
Oh
screen.
no, yeah, I got you. I got you. I
What?
got you.
But
Yeah, yeah, sure. Oh shit, Justin Herbert's hurt.
ooh. Okay, so let's talk about a few games from last week. The actually, you know what? The first game of the fucking season, Buffalo Rams, right? Again,
Hmm.
I'm not a big Ram guy, right? It's just not.
Yeah, they just won the Super Bowl, but yeah, go ahead.
I'm not a big Ram guy. I'm not a big Bills guy, right? But again, it's all just week one. However, them boys, the Bills went out there and beat their motherfucking ass, like just beat their ass. I'm willing to see. Well, obviously willing, but I'm ready to see what the Bills are going to do this week. But they beat they ass.
Yeah, as they should, man. Like Bills are one of the most talented teams in the league. I mean, it is what it is. You can take them to be in the Super Bowl, but most everybody, if not everybody, has them as at least a playoff team. You're gonna have to go see them. Like,
Right,
and but they did what they were supposed to do. It's the Rams seemed like they was in over their skis. Like they was still on that Super Bowl high, and was like thought they were just gonna come into the game and just win because we're the Super Bowl champs. It's like, nah, dude, y'all gotta go out here and play.
right,
Like
right.
they and said, what y'all came, punched their ass in the face as they should, and went about their business.
Mhm.
But I again, I never try to overreact because that's what everybody does after week one. Like
You're right, right. Week
every
one
team,
shit.
every team that lost is the most. They're the sorriest team in the division, and this, that, and the third. And then if the teams that won, they all gonna go to the Super Bowl and shit like that. Outside of the AFC South, where remarkably no team won in that whole division in week one.
That's pretty funny. Yeah, I was going to get to that, but that's pretty funny. Well, my Rams Bills, much ado about nothing or something.
It's just a first game. Like first games, obviously they matter because record and all that. But
Mm.
these teams are going to be totally different teams at the end of the year. They're going to be playing different, styles of ball. They're going to have some injuries. They're going to have some guys come back. They're going to have some guys step up who we're not even thinking about. So,
They're gonna pick somebody up off of waivers,
yeah,
some shit, and it's like,
it's going to be a totally different thing. But I mean, I will say just from a viewing experience, that was a good ass game.
That was a good ass game.
Yeah, that was, like talent all over the field, cats going at it. Like you couldn't really.
Von Miller going back to LA,
Yeah.
like it was a whole bunch.
That
It was a lot going on.
But still kind of wanting to be with the Rams every time they ask them, like, oh, well, like, does it feel good to beat your own team? I mean, I kind of still want to be, I like, LA.
Yeah.
It ain't like Buffalo. It's just
Nigga, hey, going from LA to Buffalo, that's a stark difference, bro. Especially once this weather change. He's gonna see the real.
I'll give Von Miller his props. He said he was chasing the ring, part one. And part two, you can also tell that Von Miller and all his Buffalo Bill teammates, they went out to dinner the night before. You know what I'm saying? They definitely kicked this night.
Smooth use all that per diem they got.
Yeah, all of them. Yeah. All right, next game.
Hey, let me show you a couple of spots.
I know the spot. Next game. And Simon, you and I were watching this one together. The Steelers Bengals.
Yeah, this is one. They beating Justin up. He came back in the game. They beating him up. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No, this was my thing about the Cincinnati. Last year they weren't the hunted. They were the hunter. Everybody kind of picked them the last and be like 5-13 or whatever fuck that you can be now and shit like that. And they went out and played above their heads. And now this year coming back as you're a Super Bowl team, right? All right, every team is gonna treat you as such. And then playing Pittsburgh the first game of the year, that does bode well with them. Shout out to Mike Tomlin. He about the culture. He gave all his players black Air Force Ones before the game. I thought that was very clever. I
Mike
thought that was
Tomlin,
very
Mike
clever.
Tomlin is the greatest coach of all time.
So, but to me but what it did show to me was Pittsburgh still got their defense is rock solid. We knew that going into the season, but at some point, Pickett with his little hands is going to have to play because Mitch Trubisky. There's no way you make the opposing team's quarterback turn the ball over 5 times, and it takes you all the way to overtime and almost to go to a tie to win the game. Should have been won the game. And your defense scored in the game too. Like that should be a rout.
I was pulling for Biscuit.
But the thing was,
go ahead, Mike. Yeah, come on, man. Let's go.
No, but I'm saying we do this. The NFL is like we do this every year. Like a guy who's a high draft pick, but kind of bust out wherever he was drafted, goes to another team. But everybody still respects the talent. Goes to another team, and people kind of talk him into, you got better weapons here, and offensive. Got a good running back, good defense, good. All he has to do is make some short completions, move the sticks. They've got a good defense, good running game. I think they can win some games with this guy. Every fucking year, there's another guy that we do this with. And it's like the Chargers. It's like the human being version of the Chargers. Like, yes, he has talent. Yes, he got the pedigree, but no, it's not going to work. And I can't tell you why, but it's just not going to work. Right? So with Trubisky, I never bought the brand.
No, but that was the
He's a great quarterback. how you do the Al Davis voice?
Jamarcus Russell is a great quarterback. Just look at my slides. Rest in peace, Al Davis, man.
Hey, shout out to the Cowboys. They going through their Al Davis years right now.
Man,
was so clueless in the press box, bro. Bro, he be in this little suite. That shit happened. Nigga, they scored on your team. Like, you looking around for? That team is bad, bro. Even with Dak. Now, of course, it's the first week of the season, which is basically like an extension of preseason. So I'm not gonna say that what showed up on Sunday is necessarily the Cowboys every week.
Everybody knows Jerry Jones should have been gone a long time ago.
But yeah,
okay. I'll put it to you this way. I know y'all don't watch wrestling, but they finally got rid of Vince McMahon this year, dog. Like it's time for that motherfucker to go. Jerry, say, dog, go to the field. It's time.
He can't get fired. He gonna fire himself? Fuck no.
He stepped down.
I mean,
I built this. Jerry Jones walks into that. He walks into that stadium every time. I built this barbecue shit. And this the motherfucking thanks I'm gonna get. Like, no, he steps in that hole every time like that. Nigga, he's going out on his shield. We already know this.
We know that, but they got Vince McMahon about that though, because he paid $20 million on some hush money shit. Because he was over there.
We already know Jerry got hush money out there, and they don't care, dog. He got too much influence. He's good. He Gucci, bro.
That motherfucker.
He got the highest pay. I mean, the most wealthiest franchise in sports, my nigga. He ain't going nowhere.
That nigga's like Queen Elizabeth in Texas, man. Like,
oh my god.
Like it's just, there might be some pedophilia, but it don't matter.
Don't.
With a straight face, man, he owns a star. But yeah. So another game. Hold on, because there was another one that I wanted to talk about.
What?
I'm gonna go here again. Miami, are they legit?
Did you see that shit today?
I didn't click on it. I saw the caption. I didn't click on it.
Right.
What?
There are certain moments in sports where you can just write somebody off. right? Where you can just be like, all right, I've seen enough. Even though week one, I've seen enough. This motherfucker said, oh, I'm paraphrasing. I'm not the biggest guy, but this is pretty close. I'm not the biggest guy out there, so I can't necessarily always see the receiver. So I tell him, if I can't see you, if you can't see me, then I can't see you. So get to a spot where you can see me, and then I'll see you and hit you. I'm like, bruh, first of all, don't admit that. Okay, I know your agent said that. I know your agent was just like ripping his hair out when he's listening to you talk. Number two, you got to understand, if you're a small quarterback, they got to operate different. Like,
yeah, they got to find windows within the.
It's not line. Even the windows. It's understanding, like, you don't need to see the fucking receiver. Okay, like, you got to be so good. And I watched Drew Brees do this shit for years. You got to be so good that you are doing process of elimination. There's fucking 4 DBs over here. That means there can only be one over here.
Right.
The guy should be coming right here. We practice this shit 1,000 times. And if he's where the fuck he's supposed to be, I can just launch that bitch right to a spot. I'm not even throwing to a player. I'm throwing to a spot, and this motherfucker needs to be there when he gets there, when the ball gets there, right? And that's how they have to play. It's just, the smaller you are at QB, the bigger you got to be up here to figure all that shit out, because you cannot wait in the NFL to see the receiver. See the receiver open, nigga.
If you see the receiver open, by the time you throw it, he's covered.
It's done.
Damn.
It's done. You cannot, even tall quarterbacks don't, the good ones, they do not do that. They're not sitting there waiting and watching the guy make the break. They know.
Drew Brees, one thing, and I will say this about Jamal, you're right with Drew, and I think you're spoiled on that too, because Drew was, to me, he was the best at throwing a receiver open, like the best I ever seen, where it looks like Buddy is covered, but Drew Brees finds the window to make him open. Yeah. But everybody's not an anticipated thrower like that. But the thing is, Tua needs to be that because he doesn't have the biggest arm. You have to be able to anticipate. Like, I know he's gonna sit down at 10. I gotta be throwing the ball when he's at 9.5. So when he turns around, that ball is literally right here. And I catch it in the pocket and I make a move. And he's a young player and all that, but that shit right there, saying that like you say, nigga, you don't say that shit out loud. No, not to no motherfucking what you call it.
But why not though? Why not?
No, because you're admitting your flaw. Everybody knows you're flawed in a way. They know your weaknesses, and I get owning up to that shit, but you own that up to that shit to yourself, not to everybody else. Like, nah, nigga, if like Tyreek had been saying this whole time, nigga, I'm the most accurate quarterback he's ever played with. Nigga, ride with that one.
Yeah. It's like, go with that motherfucker.
Don't say, oh, I need to be able to see. No, nigga. Then now I know, as a defense, muddy up the pocket, make sure he doesn't have good sight lines, and this nigga gonna freeze up.
Because he gotta see the fucking receiver before you throw it. Like, that's not gonna work, bro.
Like, I already know the game plan against him, and I'm not even watching no film for him and just saying that. Like, I just muddy up the pocket, make sure when he releases the ball, we all get our hands up if you're not getting close enough for a sack, and this nigga's gonna fuck up.
Hey, side note, muddy up the pocket. I'm gonna use that at least 2 times in the next week, just for the record. Like, not for football references. Like, say, bitch, I need you muddy up the pocket. What's that?
Good phrase.
When I heard that, like, thankfully I'm not a Miami fan, but if I was a Miami fan, that is alarming.
Is it? Come on, now.
Because, and it's not like he was saying, and so I'm working on, anticipation and understanding spots on the field. Like, that's alarming.
He got broken ribs, bro. I'm sorry to cut you off. Justin Herbert, he's still playing, but his ribs are broken.
Oh, I need to pick up another QB.
Oh yeah, he is leaning. He's leaning like that.
Like, he had a free range to run the ball or do something, and he kind of just threw the ball away. Like, he's grabbing that. his left side. He's in a lot of pain.
I don't give a fuck.
No, I'm not saying about that. I'm just saying this nigga got broken ribs.
With the first pick, the San Diego Chargers select.
Yeah, I still call them nigga San Diego, man. Fuck them all, nigga. Okay, so one more game, and then we'll wrap this shit up.
Oh my God! Then he makes that throw. How the hell he do that? that was a fucking dime.
Oh goddamn!
One thing before you move to the next game, that shit Tyreek Hill talking about with two of the most accurate. That's a lie. And I put that to bed on Sunday when I saw Patrick Mahomes play. I was like, no, out there playing with bums.
He said the accurate, not the best or strongest arm.
No. First of all, he can see everybody. That helps. Spot, if you can see the spot. But no, I saw this dude, and of course, he's always been doing this, but it's with Mahomes like this motherfucker just reminds you how cold he is sometimes, right? And I just saw this dude do a throw where he's running to the right, comes back to the left, launches it, a foot on the ground. Nothing is touching the fucking ground. Launches that bitch, perfect, low to the ground for the receiver to catch. It wasn't a big like completion or nothing. It was just, damn, this motherfucker can really make that throw.
No, his arm talent is
2 times a year, bro.
I saw it at Tech, and and contrary to popular belief, I believe good players and good quarterbacks can come out of Tech, and I saw it. I was like, it took me probably maybe two games. Because at first I thought it was just, it's kind of Big 12, and you're just throwing it all over the yard, so he's gonna have some inflated numbers. And it was the second time where, like, kind of in that same little vein where he just kind of was running to the right and then kind of playing his foot and went back to the left. And, I mean, it was just like a flick of the wrist. And he threw it 50 yards down the field on a fucking rope. And I was just like, yeah, that's different. Like, and it made me like, yeah, I got to check this kid out. And, like, ever since then, I was like, yeah, this nigga's going to be all right. He goes to the question, and Andy Reid, motherfucking quarterback whisperer. He made Michael Vick a throwing quarterback. Like, that's how cold he was. That's how cold he is at coaching. It's like, nah, this kid gonna be all right. And I was like, when he went to the Chiefs, I was like, first thing I said was fuck. And this is when the Chiefs were winning with fucking Alex Smith.
Yeah. So like, dude didn't have to come in and play right away. Just
see that kid.
Right. Okay, so the last game, Denver, Seattle.
Okay, and this was my query about that coach in the first place. I was like, can this nigga coach? To me, it all summed up to the end of the game, and how the fuck, how the hell do you not trust Russell Wilson to go get $250 million Russell Wilson, mind you, to go get that game, like go get that first down.
Right.
Just like, even if you're gonna still kick the field goal, to go get that first down, how the hell do you not trust that guy to go get it? And like, again, I feel like Russell was pressing. He wasn't really on. He had his numbers will say different, but he wasn't really on. He was short arming a lot of deep throws, and that's what he's known for. And they were moving the ball from 20 to 20, but once it got into the red zone, it was shit. Like, their offense went to shit. They went to the red zone 4 times. They didn't score a touchdown and had 2 fumbles and a field goal.
Yeah. I mean, in fairness, getting to the one, like, now, of course, it don't matter unless you score. But getting to the one, like, you're doing enough to win.
Yeah.
You don't drop the ball on the
But this was my thing.
They were dropping the shit out that rock lane.
And this is my thing about drops, fumbles, situational football. All of these are coachable things. These are things that you're supposed to button up as a coach. Like, red zone, I feel like that's where a coach shines. That's where you, especially if you're an offensive-minded coach, which he is. He was the offensive coordinator in Green Bay. You got, this is where your genius is supposed to pop. And for me, again, I know it's the first game, so take that with a grain of salt. But red zone efficiency and red zone offense is very, very important in the league, just because of how tight these games are. And to be that bad at it that early, and I mean not like, and it wasn't like, oh, they went 2 for 4. Like, it was glaringly bad. Right. If they score one time in the red zone, they win the game by 4 points, 4 or 5 points. Like, it makes the game a totally different game. But to be able to be that bad at it that early, I feel like that's one of the things you hammer home in preseason and motherfucking training camp. It's like, we're going to be good in the red zone. And to be that bad that's and your first impression as a coach is to go with your kicker and not your $250 million quarterback that you just traded everybody for. Yeah, man.
And I'm sure the kicker makes those in practice, but that's different from a game. And this is not
it's
like
64 yards, nigga. That'd been the second greatest kick, maybe the greatest kick ever to win a game. Because you don't do that.
The problem is all them other kicks were like with time expiring. Like, the team didn't want to take those kicks. That's just as close as they could get before 0 hit the clock. So they took the kick. But with come on, man. You got a minute left. You got to get 5 fucking yards. You're supposed to be an offensive mastermind, which, of course, I always hate when they crown dudes because it's always the same type of dude, if you know what I mean. So, but
Peyton Manning literally called timeout 62 times before they called timeout.
But and it's like go for the 5, and if you don't get it, that's fine, because the odds say that you weren't going to make that field goal in Seattle, which is windy as fuck. So the odds say you weren't going to make it. Yeah, he could have gotten lucky, but the odds say you're not going to make it. Go for it. Put it in your quarterback's hands. Get it closer. Try to get it inside 50. That's what you really should be trying to do. If you can get inside 50, you give your kicker a fighting chance to really make that kick. And, you should be able to draw up something to get 5 yards. Now, of course, the defense can also draw up something to stop that, and that's the game you're playing. But to kick that right there and the waste of time that he did, and I guess if you knew you was going to kick it, then you might as well run it down. But just fucking go for it. Like, why are you outsmarting yourself?
No, to me, and that was the thing. Why outsmart yourself, and why not? Again, I know Russell didn't have his greatest game. I felt like he was more amped up than he usually is, because Russell's more.
He was trying to kill him. He was trying to kill him.
Yeah. Of course, but it made him try too hard, and it's like you said, he really only had one good throw, and it wasn't really even that good of a throw. That one, the touchdown to Judy, like he underthrew that. But trust him. Like these are the moments where you never coached like this and stuff like you never been a head coach. These are the times where, at the end of the day, man, trust your players to go make a play. And I'm not saying the kicker's not a player. I'm just saying I would rather ran a play and then not have gotten it. I would have felt better about myself as a team than trusting the kicker to go kick the second longest field goal ever to win a fucking game. Like, come on, dude. What are we trying to do here? Okay,
so y'all know how I do that whole throw it off LP shit, right? Like, you in that situation, he went back to the team that he just came from, right? I get it. It's your first game as a head coach too, but you have to pay homage to that. You give that man that chance to fuck this shit up. You give
that's not even a fuck. That should have been his mindset from the jump.
Yeah, like you give that man this chance to fuck that shit. Like let Russell let him cook. Yeah, let Russ cook.
No, let him ride. That's what he's doing now. Let him ride. Let him ride.
Whatever it is, like fuck it. Okay, my bad. Okay, cool. We good. but again, like so that dynamic. Russ has went from Pete Carroll, who for all accounts has been, he's a great coach, but he's won Super Bowl.
Everyone, most great coaches only win. Andy Reid's only won one. We all
Right. So Russ did. So Russ and Pete did what they were supposed to do. At the same time, Pete knew what was popping. Like the Broncos.
I don't want to say.
Hold on. The Broncos coach overthought this whole coaching thing in one game. Like he did have a lot to deal with because you got Russell Wilson going back to his team and his former team, whatever. He overthought that whole situation. However, it's like, dude, let this man go out and do what he needs to do. You again, the 64-yard and what the record is by a nigga with a half a foot. Okay, cool, great, no big deal. But let this man go out here and do what the fuck he needs to do. Outside of that, you're just bullshitting. Number one, y'all had three, like you said earlier, y'all had three chances down in the damn goal line to get some points. You fumbled. Everything was fucked up. Which
That's coaching. Fumbling, I revert that back to coaching. That's attention to detail. That's something that has to be put on the players. That's a correctable thing. Fumbling is correctable. Mm-hmm. That's technique. When it's down to technique, that's coaching. Because you gotta coach the right technique.
What was the record? What was the record for players that did not play or quarterbacks that didn't play in the preseason?
What do you mean the record? I don't get what you're saying.
Like this week, like I think it was like 3-12 or some shit like that.
Again, that's subject to a lot of things. I don't take too much from that because everybody's gonna approach preseason the way they approach it. Now they don't play the players. They used to play the players. It is however